had a big day of planting planned for today. I wanted to put our cabbage in the ground, I wanted to plant tomato seeds, and I was hoping to plant our potatoes too. But there's been a change in those plans because a stomach virus has invaded our family. Started with Corey and Austin, and we thought we were separated from them enough from when they contracted it that we wouldn't get it, but today Katie's not feeling well, so I'm not sure if that's what she's got or if it's something else. But because of that, of course, we've had to help more with Ira. So Matt's got him right now. It's where Matt's at, or he would be out here helping me. So I still want to at least get our tomatoes planted. This is later than we usually would plant them already, so I'm anxious to get them started. Now they will still have plenty of time to get big enough to put out in the garden. They'll still be just fine, but it's just one of those things you like to get off your list. I'm hoping that maybe this evening when the baby takes a nap, maybe Matt and I could sneak out just long enough to plant those cabbage because they're getting so big. Let me get one of them and show you. So you can see they need to be in the ground, and also, you know, they do better with the cooler weather, so we should have already had them planted, but that's how life goes, right? You can't always do everything you think you're going to do. So for the tomatoes, last year Matt helped me, and I guess he helped me the year before, I can't remember, but he really helped me in this way, was to think about, instead of trying every variety that I want to try, there's always so many enticing tomatoes to try, to really just focus on the ones that we really truly loved. Well, he helped me do that last year, but I still was like, but I want to do one or two and just see. So some of the ones we grew last year that we hadn't grew in many years was brandywines. Like we grew some of those. There were some others. I think we tried one named the Hillbilly, couple of others, and none of them really did good. I should have listened to Matt. If they didn't do good for us all those years ago, probably wouldn't today. Now that's not to say they wouldn't do fantastic for you. They might. German Johnson, that was another one that we planted last year. I think it had 2 tomatoes on one plant. That was it. Anyway, so Matt kind of got to say, see, even though we didn't plant as many experimental ones, you still should have listened to me. So this year I really am going to listen to him. We're going to plant of course, the Cherokee Purple. That's our main producer. Does so well for us. Does really good, and it's Matt's favorite tomato, my favorite tomato. So I'm going to plant about 20, I guess, of those. Maybe a little bit more in case I need to share with Granny or Corey. And then our little tomatoes, we're going to plant those. I love the Sun Golds. There's one I call the David and Carolyn, little orange one tomato that they shared the seeds with me. I'm going to plant that one. I might do a Juliet. I planted Juliet last year, and I don't think that the plant ever survived to produce anything. We had plenty of tomatoes, but I think somehow, or maybe I planted the wrong one. I've been known to do that too. But I might plant a Juliet or two. And then really the only big tomato we're going to plant besides the Cherokee Purple was one experimental one that we did last year that really did produce bukus of tomatoes. We didn't have many plants of them, but they produced a lot. I'm calling it the Randy Hooper tomato. We got the seed from dear friend Debbie over at Bryson Farm Supply before they closed, and it was one that her husband had got the seed, an heirloom variety from someone, and he had just kept growing it and kept the seed. So I'm gonna plant all the big ones other than Cherokee Purples are going to be that one. It was a big red tomato, really a big, grew a pretty big one, and had really great flavor. Totally different flavor than the Cherokee Purple, so that was interesting. I would say more of a brighter flavor than the Cherokee Purple's, more like a smoky, deep flavor. Anyway, we're going to plant that. And then as far as other tomatoes, we always have a little matched cherry that reproduces by itself, volunteers for itself, so I'm sure it'll show up somewhere. It's a little teeny tiny tomato. It's really sweet and tasty, but it's really tiny, even tinier than the ones. And if you don't know what a tomato is, that's just like a small tomato, like a grape tomato or a salad tomato. We call them tomato tomatoes here in the area of Appalachia where I live and beyond. I know that too. I was going to see if there was any that when I was looking, that I thought I would try. I think the only other one was my one experimental one will be and it's one of the tomatoes. So it's just Kimberly Franklin sent me these from Cascade, Virginia. So I might plant 1 or 2 of those and see how they turn out. But definitely the Carolyn and David, the orange one, the Sun Golds. I love those. And then one more. This was one that we grew last year. And I'm not sure if it was the Sweet 100s or it may have been from the Bumblebee. We grew some Bumblebee. I don't remember the exact name of them, but Bumblebee, they're like the Tommy Toes the last 2 years. And this was some that I really, really liked. And so I saved some seeds from them. I just put red Tommy Toes. So we'll see if those do anything for us this year. We'll just plant 1 or 2 of them. So I'm going to try to heed Matt's direction and his advice to, here comes a big wasper. Let's see if it'll land on me. I'm not really afraid of bees, although I think waspers hurt as bad as anything else. I don't know if it flew in front of the camera or not. So it's a red bee wasp is what the technical name is. My whole growing up I called it wasper. I still say wasper. That's just Appalachian there for you. But I like to tell this story. I was actually grown. I was living in Canton working at Lake Logan, and one day, I don't know, I'm sure we had around the boathouse lots of waspers, but I said something about a wasper, and one of my cousins said, you know that's not a... Now she probably said it too. She wasn't, wasn't being holier than thou or anything, but she said, you know that's not a word, don't you? And I said, what? And she said, wasper. I said, it is. And she said, no, it's not. And I said, it is. She said, you need to go look in the dictionary. So I did, and that's when I found out it was not wasper. It was not, but it's still waspers to me. And they like to get in here and anywhere else on our porch, and I'm sure they'll get in Matt's shed when he gets it built and build their nest. So now I'm going to get these in our solo cups. We've been using solo cups to start our tomatoes in for many, many years. It works really well for us. And once they're in here, we won't up pot them or anything like that. We'll just leave them in these cups until we're ready to put them outside. As you can see by the condition, the dirt already in some of mine, I'm using the ones from last year. A lot of people, want to say that you should really clean everything that you use and sterilize it and all that, and I'm sure you probably should, but we don't usually do that. We've never done that, to be honest with you. And maybe someday that'll cause problems for us, but it hasn't so far. So I'm using the ones we made last year. We've got like a drainage hole in the bottom. I can usually use them for 2 years at least, but maybe even 3 years before they'll get so flimsy that they'll just kind of break on you. And when it comes to putting the soil in it, we just use potting soil. You can buy special mixes for starting seedlings. You can certainly make your own. Lots of different ways to do it, but that's how we do it. So now I've just got to start putting the soil in them. And as far as how far to fill them, I fill them up pretty, I don't measure. Some of them will have more and some of them will have less, but about like that. And I just put 1 seed per container, per cup, because I'm going to leave it in here until it grows big enough to put in the garden, and it gets warm enough to do that, to go straight out into the garden. Now, sometimes I have some that don't come up. You can come back if everything else is sprouted and there's one that doesn't. You can come back and plant you another one in there. I've done that before, and I try to plant a few extra just in case something happens to a plant or two. But I just do 1 seed, whereas in other situations I might plant more, or a lot of people like to start lots of seeds all together and then separate them. That works wonderfully. I'm just not good at doing that. I'm just not good at separating them. I find this way much easier than to plant a bunch and then have to pull them out and separate them. But both ways work fine. Got all the tomatoes done. Feels good to have them finally planted and watered, and now they can just start growing. And I will leave those out here. I won't take those back inside the house or anything. I'll just leave them out here. I did end up planting 2 in 2 cups. Like I said, I only plant 1. I planted the red Tommy Toes that I had saved last year. I put 2 in a cup, and then the ones that Kimberly sent, the cherry tomato, I put 2 in a cup because I thought, well, 1 ain't really enough to tell us, so I put 2 in those. But I went in and got my peppers that have been growing still inside the house. You can see them right here, and I'm going to go ahead and up pot them. I've had varying, it's usually with peppers or harder to get to germinate, so it's a typical thing. Usually I plant them and then I plant a few more. Now last year our peppers was a total loss, all of them, because we didn't take good care of them and just a variety of different things. This year they're looking pretty good, but I have went back and replanted a few of them and they've not come up yet. So I'll take these containers back in the house, and I'll also take the cups that I'm gonna up pot them. I'll take those inside the house too. So the habanada, all of those come up and they're doing good. The pepperoncini, only 2 of those come up, but I've planted the other 2. The giant Marconi, I think that was the red one. 3 of those come up, and then I planted the one that didn't come up. And then the shishitos, 2 of those come up, and I replanted those 2. The cayennes, only 1 of them come up. I don't know why, so I've replanted those. And then the Marchant that a lovely subscriber shared with us, which is a hot one, I kept seeing this grow and I thought, that is a strange looking pepper. I've never seen a pepper like that. Well, then one of them has come up now. You can see that's not a pepper, that's just a weed. It's just a grass seed that germinated inside the house there that was in the potting soil probably. So, but I kept seeing it, that wispiness, and thought, I've never seen a pepper, never seen one like that. So I'll just discard that. I did replant that one though that didn't come up. And then the jalapenos, we have 4 of those, and I replanted 1 or 2 of them too, just to see if they would come on up. Talking about the great thing about the plants though, how they really want to grow. I saved something to show you. Now I don't know where it's went. Let me see. Here it is. I found it. So on the day that I was up potting those cabbage, some of them were so little at the end, I said, I'm just not even going to worry about those because I have so many of them. And I must have inadvertently dropped one of them into the bucket or the container I was using for my potting soil. Well, that was it, and it's been growing in there. I know I didn't plant it, I just throwed it down. Probably what happened is I just emptied the containers, the dirt that was left in these type containers that I was using. I'm sure that's what I did, turned them upside down and beat the extra dirt out. But there was a little seed in there, and you can see it's come up and it's been growing down inside that potting soil. So plants really, really do want to grow. They really do want to grow. So now I'm going to up pot these, and that'll be another chore marked off my list, even if I don't get to do the other ones that I really wanted to do today. Teddy's feeling a little bit better and the baby's asleep, so Matt and I are going to try to plant the cabbage. Shouldn't take us too long. I'm real pleased with how the starts did this year. This is the Copenhagen and the Flat Dutch that we grow. They look really good and really healthy, and they've been out in the greenhouse for over a month, so they've been in the cold temperatures at night and then the warmer temperatures during the day, so they're going to be just fine to go ahead and put in the ground. We don't have to harden them off or anything like that. Matt's working on getting our ground barrier, what do you call this, weed cover? Weed barrier down. We never really used it before till last year. Matt wanted to use it, and he thinks it made such a difference that we're going to use it again this year. We like to cover our cabbage with row cover to prevent the bugs and the worms and all that from eating them. And by using the row cover, that way it prevented by using the weed barrier, that prevented weeds from growing up inside the row cover where you couldn't really get to them to hoe them out.
I don't know what all that stuff is. Oh, it's to pull them hooks once you use them. But I don't know what those are unless the hooks, the things go through it. Let's see.
like in between each square in the middle. Would that be too close? I'm going to start laying the cabbage out, and then Matt will help me by cutting the holes, and we'll plant them that way. These are the flat Dutch. So I'll move that one back there. We got all the plants in the ground. Matt's laying out the hoops so that he can put the row cover on it. You can buy larger hoops than that, and actually we have them. We've tried both, the smaller hoops and the larger ones, and we just found for us we like the smaller ones. It doesn't take up as much room in the garden. We have such little space anyway, so that works well for us. You can get larger ones though if you want to. And a lot of people ask me about the row cover. It's really just gauzy material. A lot of people have told me that you could use tulle like you buy at the fabric store. This is row cover we actually bought, but it doesn't protect anything from the cold, which cabbage could take a little bit of cold. It just protects it from bugs getting to it, and it allows sunshine to go through it, and it allows water to go through it. So when it rains, or if we have to water, you can just pour it right through the fabric. Usually we put our ochre about where Matt's foot is there, but this year we're going to put it somewhere else. We're going to do something different with it, and so this will all that'll be in this long part here is the cabbage, and then of course we'll plant beans on the 2 cattle panels. Depending on if there's room or not up close, hugged up close to these rocks, I might plant some flowers, but we'll see about that.
This stuff's gonna be not as long.
I didn't know for sure what to order, so I bought 2. Look on it, I think it's 25 foot. Looks good. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I had that side all lined with rocks, but Matt thinks that won't be airtight enough, so he went to get some mulch, and I put the rocks back. They were easier to put back than they were to put over there. He's going to put a layer of mulch. That'll be easier than digging dirt. Well, glad to have that done.
Yeah.
It's almost like laying by the cabbage, like we would say lay by the corn, because we won't touch it no more until we harvest it, right?
Wish we could do it all that way.
Yeah, just cover it
Yeah.
and let nature do the rest.
Nature will do the rest.
Yeah.
And, it'll eat it all. Something like
Oh yeah, if we don't, the covering the cabbage is what's good, is because it's covered up and protected from the pestilence, as Matt says. So if it grows good, hopefully it will, then we won't touch it again or even worry about it really until we're ready to harvest it about July or something like that.
start making kraut.
Yeah, we need to. I used the last jar of kraut for your supper.
Is that all we got?
That's it. It's all. It's gone. We've eaten it all.
Golly,
Yeah.
that's depressing.
I poured it over a pork roast for your supper.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I think when you come out here and miracle grow this, maybe we can get it quicker.
I bet Granny's got a jar or two she'd let us have. She made. We got pickle beans and corn. We've eat all that Papa made. We didn't make it, but we've eat all the coleslaw, all the tomatoes, and all the the canned coleslaw and the kraut and the what did I just say? I'm too tired. Tomatoes. Yeah, all the canned tomatoes are gone. I'm working on the tomato juice too. It's about gone.
Come on, we're gonna have to can more. Grow more and can more.
It's funny how some years you eat more of something than you do others. Like we didn't eat as much green beans. I mean, we still ate a lot of them, but there's still a few jars left. So, yeah, we might need to, between the kraut and the coleslaw, we may, if this cabbage all makes and it's not really enough, we may have to go buy some to put up. We could put some up, go buy some of the spring, that wonderful Nantahala white cabbage. It's so good. Buy some of it and do something with it, and then do it again when ours comes in. Will be later. So, well, we got a few things done today. A whole lot of babysitting, especially for Matt. And it's probably nap time's probably about over, so probably
By the time we get done with this, it'll be time to resume.
time to resume your babysitting.
Yeah.
Matt's got this. It's a baby carrier. I bought it. I think I bought it. I don't remember if I bought it or Katie
Let's
did.
rephrase that. It ain't Matt ain't got one.
That's what I was about to say, is that I bought it for all of us to wear, but what's just to make it easier to carry a baby around, you know. But what's happened is the only person that wears it is Matt. And it's got like a little seat, so Ira can face out, and I think he thinks he's an adult, like he's just walking around.
Yeah.
So we call it the Papaw perch.
Yeah.
And he likes the Papaw perch. All he's got to do is see that thing, and he starts like shaking.
Yeah, he loves it.
He loves the Papaw perch.
it's easier. It's hard to, or I don't know if it's just me. I guess it is. After you carry them around on your arm for a while, my arms hurt so bad from whatever, all them years of work and joint pain and all that. I just about can't stand it. So it's a whole lot easier for me to
Wear him like that.
wear that thing, whatever you call it. What do you call that thing?
It's just a baby carrier, but we call it the Papaw Perch. It's one of those, like, we've had carriers before. I mean, I've seen them before. I had them, but with Corey and Katie, I couldn't carry both of them. But now they make them that has like a little seat, like a little molded, what is that? I don't know. So it kind of holds them. They can sit on it. They can turn towards you, out, facing out, whatever. They make all kinds of stuff now these days. Anyway, I think it was, I think my nephew Ben, Rachel, with their last little one, I seen her with one like that. And I thought, that's so neat, because it just kind of, Mary Catherine just sit on it. I mean, she was strapped in, but she was just sitting there.
Yeah.
So Rachel wasn't having to hold up her weight anyway. Anyway, but yeah, the Papaw Perch is a hit here.
I don't know such a thing as that. I don't reckon when I was young.
No,
And they wouldn't have used it no how.
probably not.
They always told me to get over in the corner and shut up. Find something to do to occupy myself and leave them alone.
Oh, not when you was that little, they didn't. Or
You
did.
met my mom and daddy?
Well, anyway, we got some things accomplished. I mean, that's major, getting the cabbage done. I got the tomatoes planted, got the peppers up potted. So what I thought was going to be, we wasn't going to get to do anything on my list. I think we got it all except the potatoes. That'll have to wait for another day, but pretty good showing, right? Along with a lot of babysitting and trying to help Katie too, as she feels bad, and trying to give her something to ease her pain or ease her sickness.
Mean stuff.
Yeah, and me and Matt's just hoping that we're the ones that's not gonna get it.
Most of the time, I don't get any stomach stuff, almost never. I'll get head colds or sinus infections. I'm real prone to that, but once I've had a couple maybe since we've been married.
Yeah, not many.
The real bad one, we both had at the same time. That was horrific.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe one more time besides that.
Yeah, a lot of times when the girls were little and they brought things like that home, they would get it, then I would get it. Sometimes we'd all three get it at the same time, and then Matt would never get it. He'd just have to, thank goodness, because then he'd wait on all three of us. Anyway, I guess we better go in and check on Katie. We're always glad when you help us celebrate Appalachia and stop by and visit with us, and we hope you'll keep stopping by. We'll see how our cabbage does this year. It done really good last year after we bought it from Wayne Jr.'s. What we started did not do good, but this year they look fantastic.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, we've had an easier early spring planting year this year because there's been no babies born, and Granny's been very well too, so it's been much easier on us, and we hope that continues, and we hope you continue to drop back by and see us.